What if I told you that 85% of the illnesses we face today are rooted in something that medicine cannot see, something that cannot be treated by a prescription? Have you ever wondered why some people recover from illness quickly, while others, with the same diagnosis, continue suffering for years? Or why monks in remote Himalayan villages with no access to modern healthcare often live past 90 years old without painkillers, surgeries, or supplements? The truth is simpler and deeper than you imagine, and it's not in a pill or supplement, it's inside you. True healing doesn't come from what you take, but from what you remember. For over 2,500 years, Buddhist teachings have revealed a quiet truth. The body doesn't heal when forced, but when the mind calms. In that stillness, something profound awakens, a remembrance of what already exists within us. This isn't about denying science, but rediscovering the inner science of awareness, where presence, breath, and belief become the true medicines. You've probably tried everything: diets, pills, plans, but deep down, something inside still whispers, there must be another way, and there is. Today we'll explore 5 timeless principles that show how your mind, when properly aligned, can invite your body to heal itself. But first, pause for a moment, set everything aside, take a deep breath. What you're about to hear may change the way you view healing forever. If this message is speaking to you, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let's go on this learning journey together. Let's reflect on something simple. Why do our joints often ache the most after an argument with someone we love? Or why does our stomach churn before a tough conversation? Have you considered that maybe your body isn't failing, but trying to speak to you? What if you looked at pain, not as an enemy, but as a messenger? In Zen Buddhism, we learn not to rush to fix, but to listen. Pain, often viewed as something negative, is much more than a symptom. It's a signal. The Buddha once said, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." What he really meant is that the body will feel discomfort, but when the mind resists, labels, and fears it, that's when suffering starts. True healing doesn't begin when you do something. It begins when you stop doing and start feeling. It begins when you stop asking, "How do I make this go away?" and start asking, "What are you trying to show me?" Let me share something personal. For nearly 4 years, I lived with an invisible weight on my chest. Not exactly pain, but a pressure, as though something heavy was resting on my heart. I went to the doctor, changed my diet, tried supplements, but the tests came back normal, and still nothing felt right. One night, in the silence, after a tiring day, I sat still. No goals, no intentions to fix anything, just breathing. And in that silence, something extraordinary happened. A memory I hadn't touched in decades surfaced. I lost my father, unprocessed grief, unspoken words, and I wept. It wasn't a dramatic cry, but a silent, dignified release, as if my body had finally been heard. The next morning, the tightness had softened. It didn't vanish, but it stopped screaming. That was enough to begin the healing process. This personal story illustrates something fundamental. Your body is not a battlefield. It is not fighting against you. It is fighting for you. Every symptom, every pain, is a request for attention. Science is finally starting to understand this. Studies from Harvard show that up to 90% of doctor visits are stress-related, not because stress is just in your head, but because it physically rewires the brain, suppresses the immune system, and inflames the body. However, just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness can reverse this. This is not magic, it's pure, measurable science. But there's something more that science hasn't yet told us. Healing is not just biological, it is emotional. Psychologists have found that repressed emotions, such as anger, shame, and sadness, often manifest as chronic physical symptoms. What the mind hides, the body reveals. Persistent aches, insomnia, a heart that beats too fast. Often, it's not because you're broken, but because you're full of unspoken truths. What if, instead of trying to cure the symptoms, you started listening to what they're trying to tell you? The body is not betraying you, it's speaking to you. And when you decide to listen, something amazing happens. The body begins to respond with more clarity and peace. Imagine this. Every unexpressed emotion is like a box hidden in the attic of your body. Over time, the weight of those emotions leaks through the floorboards, manifesting as pain or discomfort. But what happens when you begin unpacking those boxes? What happens when you finally allow yourself to feel what's been stored away? When you start listening to your body this way, a profound transformation begins. Healing begins with presence. What if healing wasn't hidden in an expensive therapy, the next wellness trend, or tomorrow's sunrise, but was available in this very moment? The now is the only real moment. Yet most of us live in the past or future. We replay old regrets, anticipate fears that haven't even happened, while the present slips by unnoticed. Zen teaches us that peace doesn't come when everything is perfect. It comes when we stop waiting for things to be different and embrace what is. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they are doing. This mental time-traveling habit is strongly linked to unhappiness. But the good news is that just 10 minutes of mindfulness per day can lower blood pressure, alleviate anxiety, and improve brain function. This isn't mysticism, it's a practical, scientific practice. Now try something simple tonight. Set a timer for 3 minutes, sit down, close your eyes, and breathe. With every inhale, silently say, "Now is safe." With every exhale, say, "Now is enough." This will be your anchor. This is your healing moment. As you move forward, remember, healing is not about doing more. It's about being more present. You don't need a new routine. You need a new relationship with yourself. Ask your body what it needs, not just physically, but spiritually. Let your breath remind you that this moment is sacred. Let your choices speak to your body, saying, "I am here, I am listening." If something inside you has been touched, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear this message. What part of your body are you learning to love again? Healing is not about fixing what's wrong. It's about returning to wholeness, to peace, and to the truth of who you already are.